Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We certainly thank you all for coming out today. I walked in here and I asked Commissioner Cummings, was something special going on today? We typically don't have a forum running over as we are. And I looked back out there and I saw my mama, so I said, well, I must be in trouble. And it's got to be special. Indeed, we thank you all for being here. Wonderful occasion as we go through the reorganization and the swearing-in installation of county commissioners who've been duly elected. It's really my pleasure to offer these brief words of welcome. And before our invocation, I want to welcome both Chief Justice Jonathan Shorstrom and our Clerk of Courts, Ms. Gwen Marshall. Both Chief Judge Shorstrom and Clerk Marshall will reappear a little further in today's ceremony. I'd like to recognize also at this time a number of dignitaries who joined us, and I'm so glad that Rachel found something that I could see by, and I'm gonna still back this paper up about 3 feet from my face so I can see it. We're pleased that Mr. Mark Early, the Leon County Supervisor of Elections, is here. Mr. Early. We're pleased that Commissioner Curtis Richardson, City Commissioner of the City of Tallahassee, is here. We are excited that Commissioner Diane Williams-Cox, City Commissioner, is here. And just want to point out that just on yesterday evening, the City Commission went through a similar ceremony, and we commend and salute Commissioner Williams-Cox for being sworn in on yesterday, and we thank you for considering it not robbery to be here with us today. Our city manager is here, Mr. Reese Gold. Our city attorney, Ms. Cassandra Jackson, is here. The chairman of Leon County School Board, Mr. Darrell Jones, is here. Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones certainly is probably deliciously pleased to be here today. Vince, we do have a good reception, don't we? Okay, Mr. Jones, okay, good. Our former Leon County Commissioner, Commissioner Bruce Host. Bruce. We're very pleased and excited to welcome former Leon County Commissioner Mary Ann Lindley. Former Commissioner, Leon County Commissioner Marjorie Turnbull. The Honorable Leon County Judge Augustus Akins Jr. The Honorable Leon County Judge Nina Ashanafi Richardson. And might I say that I'm very pleased that my pastor is here. Also, the Reverend Dr. Julius McAllister. That's from my heart. At this time, we'd like to receive the Reverend Greg James. I'm sorry. The initial District 1 County Commissioner, Commissioner Henry Lewis. Commissioner Lewis. Our predecessor and happened to what is a road? Red came up on the elevator with? Okay. Road. Okay. Good. Thank you. Road. We got you. All right. Reverend James, we thank you for being here. We receive you now to provide our invocation.
Let's bow our heads in a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for this day. We pray now, God, that your hand be upon us, be upon those who are leading this county. We pray now, God, that there be a grace that be upon their lives, that as they rise day by day, let the public servant role, the mantle, the mission, and the mandate be over their lives. Don't let them become consumed with a political agenda and forget about the people that's in this county they're serving. Give them wisdom to make decisions that's going to empower, enrich, and enlighten the lives of the people of this county. We pray now, God, that your grace be upon them. We pray that your righteousness, your favor, and that they walk knowing that it's not about them, but it's about the people who've committed them to serve. Let your light shine over their lives. Let them continue to lead under your divine hand. For this is our prayer today, in the name that is above every name, the name of Jesus. And the people said, amen.
Amen. Amen. Shall we stand now for our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. I will now ask our Vice Chairman, Commissioner Maddox, if he would please conduct this portion of our meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As all good vice chairs do, I'm going to have you back on something, Mr. Chair. A couple of people you missed. First, my predecessor, Commissioner Cliff Thale, is here. And then our newly elected school board member, Marcus Nicholas, is here. He's over there in the corner. You hiding from us? He's in the corner. All right. So from here, that newly elected thing, they think they can't show their faces. All right. Thank you, Chairman Proctor. I want to begin with my remarks by saying that what a pleasure it's been to serve as Vice Chair under Chairman Proctor. He actually has done an amazing job of leading us this year through all of our meetings and through some pretty tough issues. Chairman Proctor, you've been fair, you've been honest, you've led, you've allowed us to participate in conversation in the best way that we knew how. And when we needed clarity, you came to the table and you provided it for us.
With a clear voice?
With a clear voice. Clear voice, y'all. But most of all, you've been an example. I don't want it to be light on anyone who this man is we're talking about, who was our 2021-22 chairman. This is a commissioner who has been here since 1996. Yes, sir?
Sir?
1996, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 1996. Which means when he is up for re-election and decides to ride off to the sunset, he would have been the longest serving county commissioner in Leon County history. 30 years. They gave me words on this paper, but 30 years doesn't begin to exemplify the kind of man and leader Commissioner Proctor has been for District 1 and Leon County Commission. Think about all the commissioners that have come and gone, and he's been the steady hand in District 1 every single step of the way. Race after race, year after year, challenge after challenge, Commissioner Chairman Bill Proctor has been here. And for that, we should all be appreciative. Not just us as commissioners, the ones you serve with, but our community as well.
Thank you.
And so as we celebrate you as chair today and coming into our bicentennial, I believe that it'll be a long time before, and I know a little bit about breaking records. Back in my high school days, I thought mine would last forever. But I believe it'll be a fairly long time before anyone is able to say they've been able to serve as long and with as much vigor and as much passion as you serve District 1. And for that, we want to say thank you.
Yes, sir.
And not just thank you for what you've done and who you've been, but the example that you've shown on how to represent your district in this county with passion. And so as you transition from our chair to our commissioner in District 1, know that I appreciate you. I appreciate the times that you just said, I don't want to run the meeting anymore and let me run over half the meeting. I appreciate the times that you have spoken with passion on issues that we can't quite speak as eloquently as you can on. I appreciate the times that you fought with us on different issues on not just your district, but countywide with passion, and asked that we understand your passion and what you're doing. Commissioner Proctor, you are, look at my babies, you are, in fact, the example that we all should live by on how to be a good, solid elected official as we strive to be the best we can possibly be. So with that, I'd like to present you with this plaque and a thank you for all you've done and who you've been. Thank you. I believe so. His question was, he said, I appreciate it. Am I supposed to say something now? Commissioner, you have the floor.
Okay.
Take as long as you like.
Thank you. I did ask the Vice Chairman, was I posed to say something right now? And he said, indeed you are. So since I'm posed to say something, staff, I want to thank you for these beautiful remarks that you've...
Wait. I was so interested in you saying something, I forgot that Vince was supposed to say something.
Oh,
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that, Mr. Vice Chairman.
It's not that you're irrelevant, you don't matter. It's just it's Bill Proctor, man.
No, we got the Administrator of the Year of the universe in here.
We're moving right along. Moving right along now.
Mr. Administrator, the floor is yours.
Mr. Vice Chairman, thank you. Mr. Chairman, to hear the Vice Chairman talk about your historic eighth term on the County Commission, and as one person that's been with you since the very beginning, let me just say, you're starting to get the hang of this. Okay. So there's something that we do around here as part of our tradition at Reorg. We've put together a collage capturing just a few of the events.
Oh, wow.
Mr. Chairman, from your chairmanship.
Yes, sir.
And so on behalf of all the Leon County employees, on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, we hope that you look fondly back at your chairmanship from the past year, as we certainly will. Want to thank you for always being accessible to us throughout the year. As this captures, we had you doing an awful lot of running around. We certainly appreciate it. Most of all, Mr. Chairman, let me thank you for scaring away at least 2 hurricanes. I don't know another chairman that could have done that this year, but we appreciate it, and I'd like to present this to you.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful. All right, guys, this is beautiful, isn't it?
Now, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. My mother's always saying, boy, you got so many hats, stop buying hats. It look like every picture y'all got me in, I got a hat of some kind. That's always been a fetish. I want to thank you all for the gathering. I want to thank my commissioners. I want to thank Vince and Chassie, Alan, Wanda, our staff. I want to thank the former county commissioners. I'd like to thank our sitting city commissioners and to the new and incoming commissioners. This is an exciting time in history. As we come to our bicentennial of this county, it captures 200 years of continuous governance, people living and sharing similar geographic space together, applying rules, creating rules, policies that govern those who desire to live in the jurisdiction called Leon County. Strength is one of those virtues, an essence of which we cannot see. Strength. But strength actually is witnessed through its manifestation. We can't see the strength of the sun. We don't see it. We just know that it helps the farmer. It pulls out of the ground. Strength is not visible with our eyes, but the capacity to come back in life when you've been knocked down, when a running back has been smashed and crashed, and he finds the strength to get up. It has been this quality that we have lived our lives each day, finding the strength to persevere with those intangibles, those invisibles, those things like faith, hope, love, and Reverend McAllister, if you hear, charity, our community. The things that make us tight and right are not visible. It's just the strength, the fortitude to keep going, to be the best that we can. That the potential that has been given to each of us at birth, somehow we create the space and we foster rules that people are made to feel comfortable and are allowed a level playing field to actualize their gifts. It's been a unique opportunity. Our community has afforded one individual, me, to sit upon a dais where we grapple for understanding. And understanding is also an intangible, and it does not often come with the simplistic opening of the little gift in the Cracker Jack box. You have to grapple for understanding, wrestle for understanding. It's a tug, a pull, a nug, a push, understanding. And for those who've had the heart to come to this dais over the years and to grapple for understanding, I respect and appreciate, salute you all. But back to that strength thing, and I want to say to our new commissioners in particular, that whoever you are, whatever your life experiences have been, I ask you to garner the strength to hear beyond what you've been taught or exposed to in your life before. The strength to hear outside of the norm box of your world. To hear the citizens of Leon County and to integrate and to synthesize their thoughts, their hopes, their desires for all parts of our community. That's the quality of strength that is required of those who serve the public space as elected officials. My apologies to those who I've failed, where I've faltered, if I've hurt anybody, if in the desire to be understood and to secure understanding, if I've faltered in any way, I humbly apologize. I've not been and am not perfect, but it's always a goal that inclusion, justice for all could be achieved. I want finally to share with you, and there are some things that staff, you've done a great job. I appreciate what you've prepared because we have achieved $15 an hour minimum wage for Leon County. We have sought to address poverty in the 32304 zip code and beyond. And we are pushing to expand septic to sewer improvements on the south side and so much more. But in closing, I want to share where my heart is today, places that you probably don't see when you look at me. But coming from the Dixie County Jail, dated the 25th of February of 2020, I received this from one of my constituents. Hey, Dad, my cellmate attacked me and kicked me in the face while I was sitting on my bed. He also tried to scratch my eyes out. I had to get 6 stitches. Both my eyes are messed up. Please help. This is too much. I can't do this no more. I don't want to be locked up no more. Please help me. I found my son's letter yesterday, something not big as an index card, saying, please help me. The strength to hear the feelings of not only the incarcerated, but persons who are incarcerated by circumstances outside of the jail. Incarceration of poverty, please help me. Illness and you can't see the doctor, please help me. Housing and many on the ground, in the bushes, you see them. They're by the Walmart. You see them. They're over by Sonny's Barbecue. You see them. Please help me. It's that strength to go outside of the middle class idea of existence and survival. It's that strength in this building for our judges to go beyond a book where legislature prescribes what justice is. Please help me. I'm being kicked. My eyes are being scratched. I can't do this no more. And for those who have lost the strength, the will to fight, to keep persevering, we simply can pray. But as we have the opportunities to make decisions in the spheres of leadership, which are ours to exercise, shall we, can we exercise the response appropriate? And I say on behalf of Jordan Proctor, it shouldn't take almost 6 years for a court to determine if he's competent to stand trial. Please help me. And I want to say that in my next term, commissioners, that I believe that my son, after 5 years and like 9 or 10 months, somebody in this world ought to know if he's competent to stand trial and not just be held in abeyance. But he's not the only one. We have them in District 1, District 2, and across the lines. Please help me. I commit to you over the next 4 years, which is my term, that I will continue to try and hear the voices crying for help in the respective spaces of which the echo rings. It will resonate in me as long as it's God's breath that I breathe. I may not be as perfect as you delight, but I'm going to be all that God desires and wants me to be in hearing the voices of those who say, please help me. Those words being said, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm looking forward to our new commission. I'm looking forward to the vice chairman. My prayer to give leadership in the coming year. And at this time now, I would like to say goodbye to our colleague, Commissioner Dozier, who has served here for 12 years. You won't find a commissioner who rolls up her sleeves, engages the issues, does her homework, and comes to battle, to grapple every meeting. If you ain't ready for her capacities to give deliberation to the ideas that come to this board, you're going to get trounced and run over. But I certainly respect Commissioner Dozier, and the citizens of District 5 have enjoyed your service for 12 years, and that's significant. And we truly respect you. We thank you, Commissioner Dozier, and we wish you the best. And at this time, we invite you for or comments that you would like to offer as you leave our desk for this season.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate your service, long service to the county, and as our chair the last year. It is good to see everyone today. It's good to be back with you one last time on the dais, and have just a few thoughts to share after 12 incredible years. Last year, after months of weighing the decision, I made the choice not to seek a fourth term on the county. It was the right decision for me to look for other ways to serve our community, and it was the right choice to bring a new voice into this commission to represent District 5. Today, I remain confident in that decision, that it was the right one, and I am absolutely confident that District 5 is gaining a hardworking and dedicated commissioner. Welcome, Commissioner O'Keefe. This is going to be a little more challenging, and I will keep it short, this part of it, because the thank yous to this incredible organization I've been a part of for 12 years could take hours, and I promise it won't. But I would like to say to my colleagues who are up here today, who are in the audience, and many who are not here, it has been a true honor to serve with you. This board, even if we have our tough times, our disagreements, that's why there's 7 of us, because we don't need an even number. We're going to have disagreements sometimes. We do it respectfully, we do it collaboratively, and with the best interest of the people of Leon County. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I have to give a special thank you to Commissioner Marjorie Turnbull, who's here, because when I was 16, she sent me a letter that I was able to show to her when I sat down with her in 2009, and I was considering running for this office. And your support, and so many others, to encourage new leaders to come forward, it means a lot. Thank you. To our county administrator and county attorney, thank you. Incredible work for the last 12 years and for the last few years. Truly appreciate working with both of you, and Talon Rosenzweig as well, and I could go on and on. But suffice to say that the incredible people within Leon County, hundreds of men and women who serve in management roles, down to Public Works, to EMS, to all of our different departments, you do an incredible service for this community every single day, and I appreciate all of your work. And we try to recognize you as much as we can, but I think a lot of your work goes unnoticed by our community because it's just a road that's cleaned up after a storm, or a drainage issue that's taken care of before it hits somebody's house, or something like that. They don't know all of the different work that you do. And yes, I kind of hit 2 Public Works examples there, but, you know, Public Works and land use always have a soft spot, but for everyone as well. I also want to thank all the staff at our agencies and boards. And I think over my 12 years, I've served on most of them, which is somewhat remarkable. We have incredible collaborations with countless people and tackling countless issues throughout the community. The nonprofits, businesses, and people who are engaged with our process, with our local government, whether you show up for one meeting, send one email, or you show up at every single meeting, your work is appreciated as well. We could not do this alone. And I have a few family members in the audience, many more, but my parents, Nancy, John Webb, who we will be married very soon. Looking forward to it. Thank you for your constant love and support. And the last thank you here is probably going to be the hardest, which is to Gary Zirin, and I'm not even sure where he is in the crowd right now. Oh, there you are. Thank you. Gary Zirin has served, yes, we adopted the Chief of Staff name many years ago. I'm not sure who started that, but certainly Chief of the District 5 office. And as I look back through some emails, The number of people who have emailed us and said, thank Gary, he's amazing. He helped me get this done. He helped me get that done. And a lot of times things were done before I ever got to see them. You just took care of it. I hear that from staff all of the time. I appreciate your friendship, the collaboration, and all we have done together for many years. Thank you. He's not loving that, but it's well deserved. And I know the board may still be here, but if you're looking for a great concert tonight, Tallahassee Winds is playing, and Gary will be playing on stage. So, yes, man of many talents. In the 12 years I've been up here, we have faced remarkable challenges, starting with a recession, too many storms to count, tornadoes, and a pandemic. And I am proud of all that we have accomplished. And the work of the County Commission is always ongoing, no matter when we leave or how we leave. There are lots of big issues, and I won't say too much more about that, but you might hear from me in the future. I'll just put it that way. And I look forward to having some of those conversations. Mr. Chair, there's one more thing that I feel I need to say today. And this first part is what I would have said no matter what would have happened in the last year. I made the decision to leave well before, as I've described in the last couple weeks, I decided to jump off a ledge and seek a different office. But it has been a year, and it's been a tough year for a lot of us. And yesterday, there were some calls for unity, which I support, after a tough campaign. And there were statements about all incumbents being reelected, and that must be a signal that city and county are on the right track. And in some ways, that's true. And I believe that this board particularly, we are on the right track, and we are continuing that progress. But it's not the whole story. Every incumbent in our community faced a challenger this year. That's significant. Hasn't happened in my memory. There are lots of new ideas. There are people who don't feel heard in our process. And there was lots of money. And there were lots of negative attacks that didn't stay focused on the issues. I appreciate every single incumbent and every single person who ran for office. It is hard to put yourself out there. Whether you succeed or not, it is a huge commitment to our community. And you should feel proud of the work that we've done throughout this campaign. But this campaign should inform us all that we have a lot of work to do, whether we're in office or not. We need to make sure people are heard and that our decisions are in the best interest of everyone in our community. I leave knowing this board, Leon County, mostly get it right. And I'm proud of the work that we accomplished. And I leave proud of the work that I have accomplished and the knowledge that there have never been any questions about my ethics, about my family, about any business, ever. I am proud of the work that I've done on this board and for Leon County, and I am proud to hand it off to a good commissioner. I congratulate everyone who won this year. And I feel that we are in good hands going forward. But we also have a very changing and dynamic community. And I encourage all of you to listen to all voices, to seek out those people who may not have been heard. Mr. Chair, you were just speaking to this. I appreciate your comments. To lift them up, to make sure we're hearing the best ideas, to make sure people don't fear speaking up and speaking their mind, which is definitely evident in our community. And in doing that, I have no doubt Leon County will continue the progress and we will have a phenomenal community and meet the needs and realize the opportunities that help everyone in our community. It has been a true honor. Thank you all very much.
12 years. 12 years. Commissioner Dozier, thank you for those heartfelt expressions. I was trying to follow you, and I wouldn't even know how to walk down that boulevard of a closeout speech, and it just hurt me to feel all of what you lifted up, and amazing, amazing. Thank you for your courage for the years you've held yourself out to the public. And we love you for your sacrifices. And we shall always remember you. And you're always a part of a very special family, the Leon County county government family. And we thank you for your years. Let's give her one more hand, please. Well, Judge Shorstrom, if you come now, I want to ask commissioners. We have 5 elected commissioners, and we're now at our swearing in. Commissioners Minor, Commissioner Maddox, Commissioner, all of y'all who got elected, y'all come on down.
On behalf of the 5 Leon County judges, your 5 Leon County judges, 16th Circuit, 10 county judges of the 2nd Judicial Circuit, greetings. It's a privilege to be with you and to celebrate this day in our grand experiment in electoral self-governance. It's a privilege to be here with you. We got a lot of swearing to do. There's one thing that I know Commissioner Cummings would not forgive me if I didn't do. We have one more dignitary that we need to recognize. That is Commissioner Paul Mitchell, nominated by this county commission to the Children's Services County, who has served with us as the treasurer of the Children's Services Council. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Mitchell. This says, first, Chief Judge Shurstrom calls District 1 Commissioner Bill Proctor forward with witnesses and family members. Chair Proctor, thank you so much for letting me participate with you today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Judge Shurstrom, so nice to see you. So nice to see you. All right. Aaron, y'all go hold the Bible. Y'all hold it. You decide who holds, you decide who swears. They both. All right, perfect. Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States and of the state of Florida.
of the United States and the state of Florida,
That I am duly qualified to hold
that
office
I'm duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of the office of County Commissioner,
the duties of the office of County Commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
in which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
Help me God.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You want to take pictures?
Yeah. Mama, Aaron, y'all come back up here for me.
Sorry. You think?
All right, Judge, you're supposed to be in one of these pictures, right?
Just one.
All right, okay, come on.
I make everybody look better.
That's why I'm standing by you. All right, come on in. All right. Thank you. You all, my mother is 85 years young, 2-3 weekends ago. And I want to tell you, this is her 8th time standing up here with her son. Mama, thank you. Here. All right. Thank you, Judge.
Beautiful,
All right.
beautiful. District 2 Commissioner Christian Caben. Welcome aboard. Thank you. You gonna hold that? If you'd like. If you'd please raise your right hand and repeat after me, I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified to hold office
that I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state.
and that I will well and faithfully perform
I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of the office of County Commissioner,
the duties of the office of County Commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome aboard. Commissioner Minor, District 3 Commissioner Rick Minor. Oh my God. I know. When did this happen? You're supposed to be a tiny baby.
When I was here last time, Charlotte was 5 days old, and her mother was holding her, and so now she's a little bit bigger.
Oh my goodness. Time goes by. I don't remember authorizing that. That'll work. 4 years old. Already. The show has officially been started.
Oh, the wheels have officially come off the bus. Charlotte, come here. Their mother's under the weather today, so it's just daddy and the daughters.
This is dad duty. This is what it looks like right here. All right, we'll make it quick. Would you please raise your right hand? I do solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear.
I will support, protect, and defend
I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida.
and the state of Florida.
I am duly qualified to hold office
I am duly qualified to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and I will well and faithfully perform
and I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of the office of County Commissioner,
the duties of the office of County Commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Multitasking right there. Nicely done. All right. No pictures. All right, so Commissioner Minor wins. District 5 Commissioner David T. O'Keefe. Do you want to hold the big purple Bible?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. If you please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly
to
qualified
hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of County Commissioner,
of County Commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Well done, sir. Welcome aboard. Congratulations, sir. We have to take a picture. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It's like looking in the mirror.
It
Except
is.
for the beard.
We'll get there.
It's a good point.
At-large Commissioner Nick Maddox. Doing business, I take it? There we go. Wait a minute, somebody's now in competition with Commissioner Minor. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Who's going to hold the Bible? Commissioner, you arrange them the way you want them.
All right. They fine, just like this.
All right, I'll come around here. How about that? All right, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United
and
States
the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida.
that I am duly qualified
That I am duly qualified
to hold office under the Constitution
to hold office under the Constitution
of the state,
of the state,
and that I will well and faithfully perform
and that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of the office of county commissioner,
the duties of the office of county commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Yes, sir.
Beautiful family. This is so boring. There's.
Okay, I got an idea. How about this? There we go. Thank you.
That happens after.
All right. Thank you so much for for the privilege of the investiture, and now I ask that we give our close attention to the Honorable Gwen Marshall, Clerk of the Leon County Court, for the reorganization of the board. Clerk Marshall.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Leon County Clerk of the Circuit Court and County Comptroller's Office, I would like to welcome Commissioner Chauvin as well as Commissioner O'Keefe to the diocese. And in the spirit of Thanksgiving holiday, I would like to, if I may, just briefly say thank you to Chief Judge Shustrom and all of our judicial partners, as well as the County Commission, County Administrator Vince Long, Deputy County Administrator Alan Rosenzweig, for the relationships that we have here in Leon County. You can pick up the newspaper or turn on the television any given day and see some of the turmoil going on in other counties, but I am very grateful and thank you for the relationships that we have here. And I look forward to continue serving the citizens of Leon County with you all. Thank you. Now, I have the honor and the pleasure of conducting the reorganization ceremony for the Leon County Board of County Commissioners. So at this time, I would like to call the meeting to order for the election of the reorganization for the board of the 2022-23 chairman and vice chairman of the Leon County Board of County Commission. Do we have any nominations for chair? Commissioner Cummins.
Good afternoon, Clerk of Court Marshall. I'd like to, I nominate Commissioner Nick Maddox, who is our vice chair now, as our chair of the Leon County Commission.
We have a motion for Commissioner Maddox. Any other motion? Do we have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, congratulations, Commissioner Maddox, Chairman of the 2022. Next, do we have any nominations for Vice Chair? Commissioner Proctor.
Madam Clerk, it pleases me very much to offer consideration before this board the name of Commissioner Carolyn Cummings to serve as our next Vice Chair.
Do we have any other nominations? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, congratulations, Commissioner Cummings, Vice Chair of the 2022. So at this time, I'll ask Commissioner Maddox, Commissioner Maddox and his family, do we need to swear him in as chair? Or are we? We do? Okay.
We're good.
So at this time, I ask Commissioner Maddox as well as his family if you'd like to join me at the podium.
Okay. So when we started this thing, it was just them. So full circle here. Sorry, I got to find the right scripture. Pastor, come on up.
All right. When I say I, repeat your name, state your name and repeat after me. I
Nicholas J. Maddox,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will well
that I will well
and faithfully perform
the
duties of the office
duties of the office
of Chairman
of Chairman
of the Leon County
of Leon County
Board of County
Board of
Commissioners
County Commissioners
to the best of my
to the
ability.
best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a couple of quick statements. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. Real quick, I just want to recognize real quick the people, a couple of people who are here today who made me better during this campaign season. And Mr. Josh Johnson, if he's still here. And last but not least, man, I had many conversations with, but one of which I said during a Bethel Respect Yourself forum a couple of days ago, changed my political life. He told me, I asked him, I said, Nick, Pastor, why is it that a lot of people say that Nick Maddox hadn't done much for the black community? I said, I've been on that dais and I've made tremendous things happen for us. He said, Nick, that's because a lot of kids in the area that we live in haven't seen you. And you don't know how much them seeing you changes their life. And at that moment, I realized that sitting on this dais made me a great politician because I understood policy and I can implement policy and get policy passed. But what Pastor Rudy Ferguson taught me was that being out in the community made me the statesman I've always aspired to be. And so, again, another man who made me better this election cycle, Mr. Rudy Ferguson. Sean Pittman was there in 2009 when I walked in his office and I sat down and I said, should I run for office? He said, go talk to these 20 people. And they say, yeah, go. Okay. So I go talk to those 20 people and I said, they said yes. He said, they're probably not going to give you money. But he said, I'll be there. And let me tell you, he has been there every step of the way. This is the hardest campaign we've probably been through, but in the beginning, when it was the hardest, the person I can say that was right there ready to lead me down this road was Sean Pittman. And I appreciate you, brother. That's why I had him stand up here. Because over time, I remember one of my first election, my mama said, "You take care of my son." And over time, he's done just that. And he's not just a campaign consultant, but he's become family and a friend. So I appreciate you. Daryl Jones. We was having a conversation the other day, y'all, and Daryl, I had posted a picture that Michael Cork, if he's here, he had created this little graphic for me, and I posted it. And Daryl saw it, and quickly he emailed or called Mike and said, "Mike, I want the same thing." And so Mike created him the graphic and said thank you at the bottom. He texted to me just to let me know that his looked better than mine, right? But then he posted it. 1,300 people have liked that post. If you want to know who Daryl Jones is as a man and what he means to this community, just look at the people that respond when he speaks. He too has become a brother, but he's taught me so much, not just about how to be a good community leader, but how to be a good friend, how to be a good man. And for that, Daryl, I really appreciate you, and I look forward to us continuing to do great things in this community. Thank you. So this election cycle was a bit of a spiritual journey for me. I got into this thing of going to churches. A lot of people think you go to churches just to campaign. But it became habitual for me. I would go to 2 churches every Sunday, and I swear to you, every time I would go, God was talking specifically to me. And so I called Pastor Quincy Griffin up because of a lot of the conversations that we would have outside of those church services. And a lot of things he would tell me and ways he would encourage me. And I remember towards the end there, he told me that it's already done, that God had already decided. And that's what I needed to hear to feel comfortable. On that last day, on election day, it was probably the most relaxed I was the whole campaign. And I reflect back to that statement and that conversation we had. He remembers it, where he told me, it's already done. And so I called him up, but it wasn't just him. It was Reverend McAllister. It was Reverend Holmes. It was Reverend Simmons, Jermaine Simmons. Every church service I went to made me a better man in this campaign season. And that's why now my wife said, "What? You leave the house at 9 o'clock on Sundays. You don't come home till about 5. I said, "You don't understand. It's not just campaigning anymore. It's not just about, me being at a service to be seen. God is speaking to me. God is raising me through the voices of these men who speak the word every single Sunday, and I'll never quite be the same." And so to those pastors of the church, Pastor Bernie, Elder Bernie, like I said, Reverend Holmes, every church that I've visited, thank you. Because you too led me on a journey that changed me as a man. And I appreciate that. And so, Pastor Griffin, Reverend Holmes, Reverend McAllister, Greg James, all you, thank you. And when we get to a place that we take a break, what I'm going to ask is that those pastors meet me in my office. And we have an opportunity to pray, think about together what these next, not just year, but next 4 years are going to look like. Because our community do not just need who sits on this dais. Our community needs our clergy and every one of you to move together to make sure that we're a safe and prosperous community. My campaign slogan that the genius Sean Pittman helped me come up with was "Together We Can." And I never really, when we were doing this, like, okay, fine, it's "Together We Can." But then I started to think about "Together We Can." It came up every time I would post something. And I started thinking about what it really meant and the team background that I come from and the kind of athlete that I was. And the challenges that we have here today, I was happy to hear Commissioner Dozier's comments to say she'd be right back here and calling us and giving us some of her thoughts, because we're going to need everybody. This issue that we have and the way we've seen this political season happen, it's not by mistake. This is the time for us all to come together as a community. And whether you agree with me or disagree with me, or if I disagree with you or I agree with you, we have to all be moving towards the same goal, which is to create a better Leon County and city of Tallahassee. Last night I had the opportunity to go to Southside Rotary, who's doing amazing things in our community. I had the opportunity to go to their Thanksgiving giveaway after the city's installation. We were out there and we made a little video, which Christique Henry, who's here, talked about my iPhone. All the people with iPhones, raise your hand. All the Samsung people, raise your hand. It's more iPhones than Galaxies in here, I just want you to know. She talked real bad about my iPhone, y'all. But after it was over,
You gonna overlook the Boost Mobile?
No words, no words. So after I got there, and it was about 7:30, it was running late, and the food was still about 45 boxes left. And the suggestion was made that we go out in the community and we start to just give food out to the homeless. And we didn't tape this stuff, but we rode throughout Southside. We went up Park. We got to over there by Strong and Jones Funeral Home, and we gave out boxes to homeless people, about 45 boxes. And one thing in particular touched me was when we stopped on the south side, it was 3 people. And I was getting in my car and I was about to leave. And that's why I said this is a bit of a spiritual journey for me. And as I was getting in the car and I was about to leave, one of the gentlemen, I believe was former military if I'm not mistaken, he stopped me. He said, wait. And I was like, what's wrong? You want another plate? And he was like, no, I just want to pray for you. And in that moment, he shook my hand, pulled me close, and he prayed for me. And he talked about the leader that I should be. And he talked about the fact that we were out there giving food to the hungry. And that the Bible says that those who are hungry will be fed. And that we were satisfying those words. Again, when I think about what I would like for us to be, and what I would like for this next year to be, it's something that imitates that. That the people the people who are in this room with nice suits, and well dressed, and cologne, perfume, and hair done, might be able, in the darkest part of the night, to go to areas where people who don't have the suit on are. The people who can't afford cologne or perfume are. The people who might not be able to find a place to take a proper bath are. And that in that moment, we're able to give them what they need. And in return, they give us a thank you, or maybe even a prayer. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know what I did for that man that night, but what I do know is what he did for me was worth much more than what I did for him. So if there's anything throughout this chairmanship that I want you guys to hear from me today, and I told Vince, Vince, I'm not going to give a speech, but here I am. Is that together we can. It does not matter what you look like, what you believe in the differences that we have, whether we like each other or not, together we can. And if you can't think that way, then the least you can do is be silent. Because this community, in my opinion, has no place for those who aren't willing to embrace together. So North Side, East Side, District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, let's break down the barriers. I want to see people in District 4 come to District 1 and do those things that I just talked about that happened last night. District 2, go to District 3, do the same thing. Break down those barriers. And if we do that, we can do exactly what Reverend Ferguson told me I could do. We can change and save lives, y'all. We can create a better and new community. Thank you for the opportunity to be your chairman. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as your at-large commissioner for 4 more years. Thank you.
We're going to
All right. So, there's a little reception. We're going to take some pictures. Oh, the benediction. I'm sorry. I almost forgot about you, Quincy. I thought I gave the benediction. So after the benediction, there's a reception out front. Commissioners, stay real quick. We're going to take a pictures. Those reverends that are here, those pastors that are here, if you could meet me back in my office just real quick for prayer and conversation. Also, today is a big day, y'all. We get to recognize a Hall of Famer. So those who want to be a part of it, please stay. Hall of Famer Joe Bullard is here, y'all. Yeah. The first thing we'll do when we come back is recognize that Hall of Famer. And commissioners, I want to be back in here at 5:30 at the latest, so we can get these things done. Again, thank you everybody for coming. This is amazing. I look forward to the great things to do in this community. Thank you. Oh, wait. I said 5:30. I meant 4:30. Yeah, 4:30. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, I forgot y'all the benediction. Pastor Griffin.
Let us stand for the benediction. Let us stand for the benediction. And let us pray. Father, we thank you for this auspicious occasion. Thank you for putting honor on mere men. But Lord, just like you anointed kings, anoint these commissioners today. Put super on their natural. Lord, in the coming days, they're going to need direction. Be their compass. If they get lost in a storm, be their light tower. We're dependent on you and we're trusting you. Now, as we leave this place, bless us and even bless the food that we're about to receive. Let it be nourishment to our body. In Jesus' name we pray. Let everybody say amen.
Amen. Are we taking a picture right now? Like, right now. Do I have 5 minutes? All right, how's everybody doing today? Let the record show that we called this regular county commission meeting to order at, what, 4:35? Oh, wait. All right. At 4:36 p.m. on Tuesday, November the 22nd. We'll start at the top of the agenda. Mr. Administrator, over there. Oh, the proclamation.
Mr. Chairman, we're on awards and presentations. First up, we have Commissioner Cummings on a proclamation.
I tell you what, I'm going to change the order a little bit.
Okay.
If Joe Buller's here, if I see him. Is Joe here? Yeah, y'all come on up. Mr. Proctor, you want to join me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I tell you, we're going to stay with the same order until I find these proclamations. Commissioner Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a great honor and privilege for me to ask Ms. Maya Wayman and her parents to come join me at the podium. Principal Cook is out of town, and Assistant Principal Deborah Barnes, this Rickards High School, had planned to be here, but she had an emergency in the family that called for her to go to the hospital. I'm not sure of the details, but she had planned to be here. I did see our chair of the Leon County School Board, Darrell Jones. Is he still here by any chance? I would like to ask him to come to the podium and join us. Ms. Melinda James, who is the Executive Director of the National Achiever Society, is in the audience, of which Amaya is a member. I'm going to ask her if she will join us up front. Is it in the back?
It's on your desk.
Is it in the back? Okay. Deacon Jarvis Rozier is here. He's a deacon at the church where Maya attends. She would like for him to join us here. And if you guys would just come behind me. Okay, you want to join for pictures or for the proclamation? Okay, all right. So I think we have everybody now. There are other family members that we will be asking to join for pictures after. But as I said, it's certainly a pleasure for me to present this proclamation to Ms. Amaya Wayman. She's just an outstanding young lady here in Leon County. She's very selfless. She's concerned about her community and her fellow teenagers. So this is a proclamation that was voted on unanimously by the Leon County Board of County Commissioners. So Amaya, if you will come to my left, and I will read the proclamation. And it says, whereas Amaya Wayman, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gary Wayman Sr., is a senior at James S. Rickards High School, where she was elected as Student Government Association President for the 2022-2023 school year. Currently, she has a 4.0 overall grade point average, and she will, awesome, and she will graduate in the spring of 2023. Amaya is a member of Greater Mount Zion Primitive Baptist Church and serves as the secretary of the Old West Florida Primitive Baptist Association Youth Board. And whereas Amaya Wayman initiated the Girl Flow Project in 2020. After recognizing the needs for feminine hygiene projects in schools and homes, and since the inception of the Girl Flow Project, over 10,000 feminine hygiene products have been distributed to local schools and communities, and feminine hygiene dispensers have been Awesome. Feminine hygiene dispensers have been installed in all middle schools and all high schools in the Leon County School District. And all of this is due to her initiative. The Leon County government has also placed free feminine hygiene dispensers in several public bathrooms, libraries, parks, and greenways. Whereas Amaya Wayman and the Girl Flow Project have engaged in community outreach with educational presentations to youth, teams, nonprofit groups, and faith-based entities designed to raise awareness of the ongoing needs for feminine hygiene projects throughout Leon County. And whereas Amaya Wayman is involved with organizations that emphasize academic excellence, including but not limited to the National Honor Society, the National Achiever Society, where she currently serves as president, the Student District Advisory Council, the Black History Brain Bowl, the Speech and Debate Club, the teen radio talk show host during COVID-19, the Florida A&M University Trio Talent Search Program. She's a member of Youth Leadership Tallahassee Class 18 and a participant in the University of Florida's Summer Scholar Health Institute. Whereas Amaya Wayman volunteers her time and talents to many causes, including but not limited to the American Cancer Society Relay for Life, Veteran Services Programs, Project Annie Soup Kitchen, the Kearney Center, Miracle Hill Convalescent Center, Ronald McDonald House Charities, and Second Harvest of the Big Bend. She has earned more than 400 community service hours this year alone. Wow. Yeah, that deserves applause. Whereas Amaya Wayman has been recognized as a great leader by many groups, such as being one of Tallahassee's top 5 young women to watch, the Community Service Award from the National Achiever Society, the Hero and Heals Award from the Alpha Epsilon Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, the Reuben Askew Progressive Youth Leadership Award, the Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award by the Association of Fundraising Professionals, the Girls Can Do Anything Award by the Oasis Center for Women and Girls, and the Presidential Volunteer Service Award. So be it further proclaimed that Amaya J. Wayman is highly commended by the Leon County Board of County Commissioners for her academic excellence, her dedication to public service, and for her exemplary service to the Leon County School District and to the youth and citizens of Leon County, Tallahassee, Florida. Dated this 22nd day of November 2022, this is signed by our chairperson at the time, Bill Proctor, signed by all the commissioners, as well as attested to by our county administrator, Mr. Vincent S. Long. Congratulations, Amaya. Thank you. And we want to congratulate your parents as well. Okay. All right. Do you want a picture? I think you want want everybody to turn that way. And I believe she has an aunt and uncle that she would like to come up to be part of the picture as well. Okay, where do you want us? Right here?
Right here for me.
Okay.
All right. So now that I've found the proclamations that Commissioner Proctor hid from me as a chairman's joke, I'd like to call Mr. Joe Bullard, Hall of Famer Joe Bullard, up to the dais. Oh, wait, you got the wrong paper. That's for this.
Yes, sir. I want Mr. Bullard to know, so tomorrow, next week, he'll be on the radio talking bad about you. That wasn't none of me that lost it.
That was all you.
So, Joe, when you get on the radio, you make sure you give it to Nick. Yeah, let him have it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Immediate Past Chairman. Today we're here to honor Mr. Joe Bullard, Hall of Famer Joe Bullard, for his induction into the Radio Hall of Fame. The proclamation, give him a hand, y'all. That's special. The proclamation reads, whereas Joe Bullard began his career in radio in Jacksonville, Florida in the 1960s. After a stint in Orlando, he moved to Tallahassee for Florida A&M University and chose to stay in the city he came to love. And whereas for over 30 years, Joe Bullard has been a beloved and ever-present personality on Tallahassee radio stations, most prominently 96.1 Jams. He is also the proud voice of the FAMU Rattlers Marching 100. Y'all should have heard him this weekend. He was something. Nobody talks jump like Joe Bullard, y'all, I'm telling you. And whereas the National Black Radio Hall of Fame is a nonprofit organization established to provide a place where people of all ages are able to learn about the history and the achievements of black radio nationally. The goal of the organization is to recognize and commemorate personalities often overlooked by other national institutions. And whereas Bullard was inducted into the National Black Radio Hall of Fame on October 3rd, 2022 for his iconic personality, positive influence on the community, and his fulfillment of his promise to play better music. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Leon County, Florida, that we recognize and honor Joe Bullard for his role in shaping Tallahassee radio. I said again, shaping Tallahassee radio. And for his 2022 induction into the National Black Radio Hall of Fame. This is dated the 22nd of November, 2022, signed by then Chairman Commissioner Bill Proctor and attested to by our county administrator. He actually wanted to be chair just to sign this, y'all. I asked him if I could, and he said no. So,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Well, thank you, and that's probably that Howard University that's in him. But we've been friends forever and neighbors for life, and when I look around and see the beginning of my neighborhood, 1980, Janelle, before you, my neighbors down the street. Here come the judge, and still is. I want to thank you Bill, when you were talking earlier, and when Nick told me of the special occasion today. And for those that are familiar that I'm doing a prayer on the radio every day, I reach back and grab this one, and coming into the room earlier, seeing everybody sworn in, and I look around and I just see friends. It's a room full of family. I hardly see any strangers in here. But when I walked in and thought today, I just thought about Tallahassee being the kingdom of greatness. God has put people in your life on purpose, so you can be a blessing to them.
Don't look for them to pay you back. They may not even thank you, but rest assured that when you serve others, there is applause in heaven. I call her name every day, my wife, Carolyn. God sees your sacrifices, and He's the one who matters. He sees your acts of kindness, helping a coworker, or serving in your church nursery. When you serve others, God says you'll be great in all kingdoms. And today our prayer, I say, Father, thank you that Jesus came to serve and gave his life for me. Thank you that you created me to serve others, to truly fulfill by living and give and not receive. What is my assignment today? Help me to see the people you want me to serve. And I've been doing that here in Tallahassee since 1972. Coming from Orlando, being first on WTAL, from there to WANM, 1974, from there to 96.1, a short 14-year vacation, working for Columbia Records and Sony Music, and God said, go home, and I did. And today I'm thankful to say that my radio station is still number one. If by chance in this room it's a stranger, check it out, 96.1, Monday through Friday, 10 until 3. My heartbeat, the love of my life, my grandson who joined me today, and whenever he's out of school, he said that's his job, and he told me I've got to pay him. And of course, my daughter, Janelle, wow. I thank you and all of my friends that are here, and for those who have been with me through the journey. Let's continue it. And in ending, I'll say by now you all know that I love you, not because of who you are, but because of who I am whenever I'm with you. Remember, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And God never meant for us to face the tough times alone. That's why He gave us each other. Remember to worry about nothing, pray about anything, and thank God for everything. Thank you.
No, Vaughn is taking a photo.
Dan Rigo could join me up here. We got a special one. Now this one, special. Dan Rigo is our assistant county attorney. He's been here for a long time, so I got a lot to read, and y'all got to be patient with me through it. Proclamation reads, whereas it is with great honor that Leon County recognizes the retirement of Senior Assistant County Attorney Dan Rigo for his long and distinguished career with the County Attorney's Office. And whereas Mr. Rigo began his career with the county on January the 14th, 2002, as an Assistant County Attorney, and on August 14, 2020, he was promoted to the position of Senior Assistant County Attorney. And whereas Mr. Rigo's primary practice area for the county has been eminent domain, where he steadfastly ensured that private property was only taken for a public purpose and with full compensation therefore paid to each owner in real estate. Y'all get that a hand? No, give me a hand for reading it. And Whereas Mr. Rigo has provided significant legal support and expertise for numerous county projects, such as the acquisition of the Bank of America building, the purchase of the Supervisor of Election Office building, Lake Jackson Town Center purchase, Buck Lake Road widening project, North Monroe Street turn lane project, Old Bainbridge at Pullen Road intersection improvement project, Orchard Pond toll road project, Woodfield Sewer System Project, Bel Air and Wood Septic to Sewer Project, sale of the Tourism Building, Tram Road Multi-Use Trail Project, Magnolia Drive Multi-Use Trail Project, Bluntstown Highway Sidewalk Project, Fred George Greenway Project, Killorn Acres Park Conveyance, and Northeast Park transaction. You think? And whereas originally from New York, Mr. Rigo's family moved to Florida, and in 1975, Mr. Rigo graduated from DeLand High School, which had a senior class motto of class of 75, don't take no job. Very damn Rigo. Kind of corny. And whereas Mr. Rigo obtained a bachelor's of business administration degree from Georgia State University and a Juris Doctorate from Stetson University College of Law, and was subsequently admitted to the Florida Bar April 22nd, 1993. And whereas Mr. Rigo's legal career included positions in private practice with the state of Florida, Office of the Attorney General, prior to joining Leon County's County Attorney's Office. And whereas prior to becoming an attorney, Mr. Rigo enjoyed an interesting and varied career path, which includes you want to say it? At Dunkin' Donuts, Morrison's Cafe, World Bazaar, as well as a stint as a certified property appraiser and door-to-door Bible salesman, not to mention his portrayal as Santa Claus at the Tallahassee Mall. Look at you. And throughout his tenure with the county attorney's office, Mr. Rigo has faithfully, meticulously, conscientiously, and expertly provided legal counsel on behalf of Leon County. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners that genuine and sincere gratitude is hereby expressed to Dan Rigo for professional, loyal, and selfless service during his tenure with Leon County. Be it further proclaimed that Dan Rigo is wished a very, very best for a happy and fulfilling retirement. This is signed by Chairman Proctor, myself, as well as the rest of the board, and tested to by the County Administrator. Congratulations, Mr. Rigo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, I'm exhausted from hearing everything that I've worked on through the years. It's been a day of speeches already, and hopefully this will be the last one. Of course, I had the pleasure of following a Hall of Fame radio broadcaster, but I'll be brief. I've always wanted to say that. I've been kind of looking back at my journey, especially the time here, and I kind of wonder how in the world did I make it to this day? Back when I was hired in 2002 by Herb Teal, our former county attorney, thank you, Herb, for that. And I moved to Tallahassee. At the time, my life was, somewhat chaotic, to say the least. I had been moving around throughout the state in the years preceding, kind of looking for a place to call home. So, when I arrived here, I wasn't sure whether I'd be here 2 years, let alone 20. But a couple of years into my time here on a flight back to Tallahassee from a legal conference, as fate would have it, I met my beautiful wife, Donna. And from there, my life kind of, my path took a turn for the better. I had peace and calm in my life, and the certainty that this would be the place that I would
stay for the rest of my career and call home. And here I am 20 years later. So I just want to thank everyone, the county family, Chastity. It's been a pleasure the last 3 years working under your leadership. The board is in great hands with you as the county attorney. You have led by example. You somehow make everyone feel like they're the most important person every time you talk to them, and it's just been a joy working with you these past 3 years. Vince, you've been here from the start. I remember the first month I lived here, I was living in Myers Park when you were living in Myers Park, and I was out in my yard and you were taking a walk with your wife and you stopped and we chatted. It seems like just yesterday, and here we are 21 years later. It's been amazing watching you lead this county government, like you have, you with your team. Alan, I'm not even trying to keep up with you, man. You just run circles around everyone. I don't know how you do it. I just want to recognize those that I've worked with right from the start, pretty much. I'd like to recognize Charles Wu in Public Works. He's been there from the start, working with me on just about every project, making my job easier. Charles and his team are some of the hardest workers you'll ever find. Scott Ross and Scott's team has been there, working together on all these projects. All those projects and even more that you heard about have been part of a county team that have all worked together. I'd just like to thank them and recognize them for their hard work through the years. Commissioners, thank you. This has been kind of my dream job, but it's time to kind of hand the ball off. There you go.
I know no law.
Fumble. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But it's time to pass the baton. How's that?
Yeah, I'll take that.
And I think you're in good hands, but it's time for me to move on, and I'm just looking forward to the next part of my journey with my wife, Donna, and I'll definitely stay in touch and be around. So thank you very much for this honor today. Thank you.
Mr. Administrator, that's the first handoff that Nick Maddox has ever turned down.
I wasn't credentialed, Mr. Chair. All right. We'll get through this agenda now. We'll move now to citizens to be heard on non-agenda item. Mr. Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, we have several items or several speaker cards in for citizens to be heard on consent and non-agenda items. The first speaker, Bob Holliday, speaking on item number 3, to be followed by Stephanie Shoemate.
Just as a reminder, during this portion of citizens to be heard on non-agenda items, there is no comment by commissioners. We just sit here and listen at this point. Sir, give me your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, commissioners. My name is Bob Holliday. I'm the president of the Tallahassee Historical Society. I live at 3362 Foley Drive. I just want to thank you all. I want to particularly thank Commissioner Welch for helping get item number 3 on the agenda. It's one of several bicentennial projects that the Historical Society is working on. It's an elementary level history booklet on territorial Florida, and we think that it will meet all expectations. And while I'm up here, I'd also like to put in a word for item number 4. I know that the Lake Hall School has been back and forth and so forth, and we're all trying to work very hard to save it, and I know you all are too, so thank you all very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Stephanie Shoemate on items 8, 9, and 11 on the consent agenda, to be followed by Iris Oots.
Name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Shoemate, and I'll give you guys my work address because it's just down the street. It's 317 East Call, the Oasis Center for Women and Girls, and I want to come and introduce myself. I'm the new director of the Commission on the Status of Women and Girls. I will be back next month with an actual agenda item in our report. But one of the things I wanted to do is first, if you actually don't know Amaya from that commission proclamation, you should get to know her. She's an amazing young woman. I had the opportunity to work with her. She's also it wasn't in the proclamation, but she's on the board of Oasis Center for Women and Girls. So she is a very dedicated young woman. And with that being said, on those items that I talked about, you'll be seeing a lot more of me and a lot more of the commission. And first, thank you for extending our Commission on the Status of Women and Girls 2.0 and funding us to be able to go into that next level and that reimagining. We really appreciate that. But on those items and just moving forward throughout the year, I want to challenge you to think about every agenda item on how it'll impact women and girls differently. And that's our goal. And we have 13 big tasks at hand in our 2.0 reimagining plan. And I want to work with all of y'all. I'm very excited to get to know everyone here on our commission and for y'all to get to know our commissioners. And I love what Chairman Maddox said about, together we can, because I truly believe that, and we can make a better community for our women and girls in Leon County. So thank you, and I'll see you guys in December.
Thank you. The next speaker, Iris Oots on non-agended items, to be followed by Terry Mock on non-agended items.
Hi, Iris Oots. I'm from the Fort Braden community. I'm back to speak on the name change that the board proposed for our community center. First, I want to congratulate Mr. Caban for his win and hope he does great things in District 2. The reason that we are protesting the name change is because of the history. We have nothing against Jimbo, your dad. It's the fact that the school has been there in that very spot on an acre of land that was donated by the families, and their families are still living there, so that we could have a school. They wanted to provide an education for their children, so they donated the land, built the school in 1926. It's always been Fort Braden School, and then Fort Braden Community Center. We feel strongly, like I said, because of the history. And the real work that Jimbo did was at our school. There were thousands of children that he helped get through school. That would not make it through school if it hadn't been his help, with his help. That's where we want his name to be honored. If it has to be named something with the community center, the walking path, the new basketball court that hopefully we can get one day, just please reconsider rescinding the motion to rename our community center so that when people come through our community center, our community, they will see that it's the Fort Braden community, not the Jimbo Jackson community. Thank you very much.
Terry Mock to be followed by Karma Harvey, non-agended items.
Name and address for the record, please.
Terry Mock, 836 to Richard Road. I'm going to be a repeat of what Ms. Oots just said. We just want your consideration in not changing the name of our historical building. And this is no offense to Jimbo's family. We love Jimbo. I think they know we love Jimbo. And we welcome you honoring him, and I'm hoping that we can use your words, and together we can figure out a solution to this problem. We are not here to offend anyone. We just don't think a building from 1926 that predates everyone, including Bill Proctor, should be changed. It's on the National Historical Registry that y'all put it on in 2004. So we just ask that we can work together to figure a way to honor him, but not to change the name of our community center. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Karma Harvey to be followed by Kenneth Harvey.
Karma Harvey, 16919 Bluntstown Highway, Tallahassee, Florida. First, I want to congratulate all the new and the re-elected commissioners. Job well done. Now I want to reiterate my comments from the October meeting. Our historical building should not be renamed as too many generations of families from our community has provided a pivotal interest in making this a staple of the Fort Braden community. An appropriate way to honor Commissioner Jackson would be at his last public attendance and speech at the Fort Braden Walking Trail and the new playground, where all the kids can play and make memories. As we all know, the kids were his passion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Kenneth Harvey to be followed by Beth Young.
Name and address for the record, please, sir, in 3 minutes.
Kenneth Harvey, 16919, Leon County. Vince, I'm back. And congratulations to the rest of the new commissioners and re-elected ones. I congratulate you on your elections, but I've been a lot already said about this, and I'm just going to put it this way. That building is fixing to be 100 years old with a name that is stuck with it. And I believe if you go back and look at some of y'all's paperwork, it says buildings over 30 years old should not be renamed. I know these circumstances here, but as it's been mentioned, you got a walking path. I think the school board and y'all could get together. I ain't heard nothing out of them about nothing. I think the two of y'all could do a lot to honor Jimbo. And that's about all I got to say for that. But I mean, just talk with the community. And that's something I tell the new commissioners. Why don't you get out every now and then and come to your communities and even the at-large ones and sit and talk with the community and the people and find out what's going on and what they'd like to see. We've had a few of ours, last two, that did do that and talk to people. But in the past, before them, we never seen nobody unless it's something major. We don't even see county staff too much unless they're out there to tell you what they're going to do. And usually it involves more taxes. But that's all I got to say. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Beth Young to be followed by Nicole Baker Harrison.
Name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Beth Young, and my address is 2418 Harvey Mill Creek Road, Tallahassee, Florida, 32310. I just want to say congratulations to everybody of the commissioners that are new here and going forward. It's nice to see everyone in person, just not through emails. I love the Fort Braden community and have been in that area for 12 years, and it's a place I call home. There is so much history that I didn't even know of, but actually reading up on the history of the Fort Braden and hearing stories and memories from the community is remarkable to have that passion for a community center that was once known as the Fort Braden School. And I think we have to make a positive solution to honor your colleague and friend, Jimbo Jackson, and who we have known as a friend, principal, coach, teacher, father, and mentor. Come visit and see its potential and learn about its history. As I've seen, Woodville, Lake Jackson, Lafayette, and Bradfordville community centers are some that come to mind that have stayed the same for more than 30 years, and which it has not been recommended to change, but also this specific location, which is the Fort Braden Community Center, was originally registered as a National Historical Site in '94 and registered in 2004 from the Leon County Board of County Commissioners and the Florida Department of State. The old Fort Braden continues to serve the citizens of Fort Braden as a community center as I am speaking about the name change. Before I leave, I just want to say thank you to all the commissioners and staff and the school board coming together and saving the oak tree at the Fort Braden Community Center. I'm curious to know how we can help other historical oaks within the Leon County. Some that I share concerns are for the ones in the south side, and love to work and figure out alternative approaches in the future moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Nicole Baker Harrison to be followed by Ashley Rutherford.
Hey there. My name's Nicole Baker. I live at 16024 Fletcher Creek Court. I'm here for a few reasons today. The first one being I'd like to thank those of you who participated with working with Duke Energy to save the historical live oak at the Fort Braden Community Center. Myself and many others in the community, thank you for your efforts. Most of all, I want to thank our community for coming together for something that was so special to us. Preserving that historical monument was very important for our community. There's not a lot out our way, but there is a strong sense of community and an immense amount of history which we will continue to try and preserve, such as the name of the community center. With that being said, myself and others in the community would like to set up a meeting with our new District 2 Commissioner and with the rest of you who are willing to come out before the December meeting. We would like to further discuss the name change of the Fort Braden Community Center and share with you our community's history by touring the center itself. I feel it's important for you all to see firsthand why we are so passionate about preserving our community's history. We can also at that time discuss other ways to honor the much respected late Jimbo Jackson. That is, if something else hasn't already been proposed. Lastly, I'd like to discuss with you all in person or via email how we can go about protecting the live oak at Fort Braden permanently. At the last meeting, it was mentioned that more research could be done in regards to the pre-existing easement. I'd like to discuss looking further into that. I know there are ordinances that exist that need to be updated or reevaluated altogether, not only for this special tree in my community, but for other historical trees that need protection in Leon County. I will be reaching out to schedule meetings after the holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Ashley Rutherford, to be followed by Beth Jackson.
Ashley's not here? All right, Beth. Name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Hi, it's been a minute since I've been here. Oh, Beth Jackson, 5659 Tecumseh Drive. I really don't want to be here again. I will tell you, and I'm going to cry because that's my new party trick. This renaming was not requested by the family. I'm not going to request it tonight. This was a request from you guys because you understand the sacrifice and the pressure that the elected position you hold requires. And you wanted to honor your peer and your colleague who sacrificed his time with me, his time with her, his time with his family, so that he could serve the community. And this was something that the commission decided and voted upon. And I'm not asking you to undo that or to redo that. I'm just asking that you do what is right. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Next speaker.
That concludes our speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, we'll move right into consent. Is there a motion? Well, is there a motion for consent? Motion for consent was made by Commissioner Minor, seconded by Commissioner Welch. I did have a quick comment to make on the legislative piece there. I do know that there's a group of scientists that have sprung up that are working on Munson over at Florida A&M University. We don't know, I know we don't know much about what their needs may be now, but if they're listening and they would like to make any requests for us to help them with legislative priorities, I would like to hear from them. So I just want to put that out there. With that being said, all those in favor of the motion on the floor for consent indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries without objection. We'll move now to item number 21. Mr. Administrator, want to introduce?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, item number 21, you'll recall earlier this month, the county received a proposal from Chief Judge Shorstrom requesting the board's consideration of renaming the Leon County Courthouse in honor of County Judge Augustus D. Akins, Jr. The item before you seeks board consideration of this naming request. Per the county's renaming policy, this agenda item presents background information on Judge Akins and his contributions to the community provided in support of the renaming proposal. As detailed in your agenda item, Judge Akins is the longest serving Leon County judge with 25 years of service to the county. Some of his most notable accomplishments during his tenure as county judge include establishing the County Veterans Treatment Court and serving as the chair of the Leon County Canvassing Board for over 20 years, which, of course, commissioners, just scratches the surface of Judge Akins' many accomplishments, which are detailed in this item. Also, commissioners, the renaming policy specifies that renaming requests, such as this one, should not be considered for persons serving in public office at the time of the official designation, recognizing that Judge Akins is still serving in public office. Should the board wish to proceed with this naming request, the board could approve the renaming to take effect upon the retirement of Judge Akins, which would be no later than November 18th, 2024. Again, that's should the board consider the request, consider approving the request. We're seeking board's direction on this item, and I know that the Chief Judge, Judge Shorstrom, is also here to provide some brief comments. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll hand it back to you.
Chief Judge.
May I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So, judicial values are modest, easy easy to say, hard to live up to. I can summarize the entire Code of Judicial Conduct in 4 words: diligence, competence, integrity, and humility. I sent a letter, asked that this board asked you to consider, and you've done that. I expressed my gratitude for it. My reason for sending the letter was because Mr. Long said it scratches the surface. For the 7.5 years that I've been the chief judge, I've seen deep into Judge Aiken's commitment to those judicial values. Whatever you decide, I am grateful for you giving him the honor and doing me the courtesy of this consideration. The reason I sent the letter is because Judge Aikens embodies those values. The reason I think it's appropriate for a county judge to have this honor is because of really what you've seen here today in this chamber, which is the coming together of this community, the people of this community. County court is the people's court. County judge rarely going to get the chance for one of our annual trials of the century. But Judge Aikens serves. He serves the mentally ill. He handles all of our Baker Acts with Judge Jones, Veterans Treatment Court. I didn't want to do it, and he made me. He just has been an integral part of this community. He's an unsung hero, and I want to sing his name. Thank you for considering it.
Thanks, sir. So, commissioners, where we're going to run this thing is we'll have a motion or a second to start us off, and then we'll have discussion. Is there a motion for approval upon retirement of Judge Aikens for the Leon County Courthouse to be named after him? Is there a motion to that effect? Motion made by Commissioner Cummings. Is there a second? Yes. Seconded by Commissioner Minor. Commissioner Cummings, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to first of all thank Judge Sustrom for his letter and for being here today addressing us. Mr. Chair, when we go to court, prior to going to court, we standing up before the judges, we say, may it please the court. So I just want to say, hopefully, what my comments today will be pleasing to the court and pleasing to the commissioners as well. Clearly, I'm very supportive of this request to rename the courthouse. And I don't think it could have come from a better individual, and that's the chief judge of our circuit. Judge Aikens has impeccable credentials, and I won't try to go into those. We have it outlined by the chief judge. But I want the commission to know, Mr. Chair, that I know Judge Aikens personally and professionally. Some years ago, he interviewed me, and he hired me as a senior attorney when he was the general counsel for now the Department of Management Services. And so I worked for Judge Aikens. Being a young attorney at the time with not a lot of legal experience, I learned quite a bit from Judge Aikens. I learned about the practice of law, specifically administrative law. We did a lot of it, administrative practice, but I also learned professionalism from Judge Aikens. I learned about maintaining your integrity in the face of adversity. He was very competent, humble, professional. He was a great boss. Very, very intelligent boss. And even back then, Judge Sustrom, he had a judicial temperament. And that clearly indicated that he would one day become a judge in Leon County. And in fact, he actually did. But one of the things that you don't know is I was working for Judge Aikens when he was called to duty for this country He was deployed in Desert Storm, and he served in Desert Storm throughout that entire crisis. And we in the office, we prayed for him, we prayed for his family. We asked God to keep him safe. We asked God to send him back safe to his family and to us as a legal body there at the office. And when he and his regiment returned, he returned to a victory celebration. I believe we had a big parade down Monroe Street right here in Tallahassee, and we just thank God that he was returned safe. He has a family, beautiful family. His wife, LeGrand, is here. Of course, Judge Akins is here. And he impressed not only those of us that have worked with him, but his family members as well. He has a son that followed in his footsteps. He's an attorney in Orlando. He has a granddaughter that followed in his footsteps. And she is an attorney right here in the Second Judicial Circuit, right here in Leon County, in Tallahassee. So I think that says a lot about the man, that says a lot about the person. He's a great role model for youth and for adults alike. He was a great role model for me, and I truly believe I wouldn't be where I am today or sitting here. I wouldn't have had a successful practice once I opened my private practice, but for the influence of Judge Augustus Akins. So I can think of no better person, Mr. Chair, for this very edifice where we're sitting in right now to be named after. And I believe that Judge Akins merits the naming of this particular building in honor of him. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, so commissioners, also for new commissioners, there's a little thing in front of you. Press that little button there. It'll pop up here. Let me know you want to speak. Right now, I have Commissioner Welch in queue. No, not that one. It's the little block thing right there to your left. There you go. All right, I have Commissioner Welch in queue, and that's about it. After that, we'll go to a vote. Commissioner Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the sentiment, and I had the pleasure of working with Judge Akins this year on the canvassing board, and I can tell you, he is a humble, kind, and dedicated public servant. And I was able to gather that in just a short amount of time. And I'm going to tell you right now, I will, if it is this board's will to do this, I will support it. Because I would hope that it's a unanimous support. But I do feel obligated to express some trepidation. Because, and no offense to Judge Akins, who has clearly served this community well and deserves such an honor. But we only got one courthouse. And there's a lot of judges that have come through this courthouse. And Judge Shorstrom, your recommendation, I think, carries a lot of weight as the chief judge. I have not had a really adequate opportunity to broach this with my constituents, to get a lot of feedback. And it is the one county courthouse. I mean, it's a big deal. This is a big deal. Mr. County Administrator, is the policy of the county that we do not name buildings after people who are living? Is that correct?
No. Just not serving in office. That was the policy many years back.
Okay. So we are not waiving policy or anything.
That's correct.
This is a delayed naming upon Judge Akins' retirement.
That is one of the options before you, yes.
Okay. Again, I think I've only known the judge a short amount of time. I can testify to his heart in that short amount of time, his temperament. And I think the resume speaks for itself, Judge Shorstrom. But I do want to, again, add the gravity of what we are doing as a consideration. Perhaps we could wait, give it some time to get some feedback from the community, acknowledging that it is ultimately our decision, if that's correct, Mr. County Administrator, right? We can do what we want. Okay. As I said before, if it is the will of the board, I will 100% support this item. Thank you.
Commissioner O'Keefe, and then we'll go to a vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree that naming our one courthouse with so many people who have come in and out, both being on one side of the courtroom or the other, we want to take great consideration to whom we give this great honor. In the few days I have asked around and read about Judge Aiken, I have no doubt that he is someone who deserves that honor. The main thing I took away was that he exemplifies the ideals of the justice system, which we don't often see enough. His work on the Veterans Court and other diversion programs is, to me, the ideal of justice that emphasizes not just incarceration, but rehabilitation and reintegration into our community, which is what we really want a justice system to do. And so I have no doubt that that Judge Aiken deserves and meets the bar that I would set for naming the courthouse after him. However, we just had follow-up comments from citizens on another naming that was made at one meeting, and I believe that this is the community's building, and the community should have adequate time to input what they believe, and this is the first time this has come on the agenda. And so while Judge Aikens absolutely deserves this honor, and I do not say that lightly, that is not my default answer for when we name something after somebody, but truly his record is just above anything else. But I think that we put ourselves in trouble if we don't give the community adequate time for input. And so I actually, I move we postpone to consider on the January 24th meeting so that community has 2 meetings to give input and make sure that we consider all options and what the community says.
Motion been made to postpone this item until, yes, ma'am, substitute. Yeah. Substitute motion been made that we postpone action on this item until January the 24th. Motion is made by Commissioner O'Keefe. Is there a second to that motion? Motion dies for lack of a second. We'll go now to the main motion on the floor. Motion made by Commissioner Cummings, seconded by Commissioner Minor to, in fact, rename the Leon County Courthouse after Judge Aikens upon his retirement. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations, Judge Aikens, and we appreciate the service that you've given to Leon County. Thank you, Chief Judge. All right, Mr. Administrator, item number 22 to take us home. I'm sorry, Judge Aikens. Yes, sir.
Pastor McAllister, come up here and stand with your member. Come on, Mrs. Aikens, family. This is just not the naming of a road. This is a little more special. Judge Aikens requests to say something. Go ahead, Judge.
Mr. Chair and members of the Commission, I just want to express to you my sincere appreciation for this decision. I know it was not easy. There are a lot of issues to be considered, as Commissioner Wilkes stated. This is a building that is for the community. And you want somebody who would embody all the principles you think are important as a member of this community. I came to this community more than 50 years ago. Came over to Florida State University, went to law school here, and stayed in Tallahassee because I love Tallahassee, love Leon County. I raised my children here. This is my church. It's here. My granddaughter, who followed me in law for some reason, as did my son, because we believe in giving back to the community is important. I served most of my career in public service.
And it's because I believe that this community deserved the very best. And I wanted to give it the very best that I could. The chief, when he came down and suggested this, I was dumbfounded. I didn't expect it. But I believe, and I'm truly humbled by that suggestion, that he would think worthy enough of me to make this tremendous recommendation to you. Thank you very kindly for your hard and, I believe, sincere decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I tell you, man, Judge, it was my steady eye on the canvassing board. When we count them votes, man, nobody runs a canvassing board meeting like the judge. So, Judge, congratulations. This courthouse deserves a name like yours on it, and so you were the right man. So I appreciate that. Now, Mr. Administrator, take us home with item number 22.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I sure will. Item number 22, Commissioners, as the board requested at your September 13th meeting, this item presents a $1 million funding request from the Tallahassee Housing Authority to address the funding gap for the second phase of the Orange Avenue Apartments redevelopment project. Commissioners, as detailed in the item, affordable housing is our highest need, or affordable rental housing for very low-income households is our highest affordable housing need in the community. To address this need, as you know, Commissioners, the county actively works with our partners at the city, at the HFA, on strategic investments like the redevelopment of the Orange Avenue Apartments project. When completed, this project will increase the number of affordable housing units on the site by 100%, from 200 units to approximately 410 units. It will be the largest affordable housing redevelopment project in Leon County to date. To support this effort, to date, the county and city have each contributed $3.3 million each. To complete the second phase of the project, the HFA requested that the county and the city assist with the funding gap caused by continued increases in construction prices, inflation, and higher interest rates. The city has committed the additional $1 million in direct funding to assist with the gap. This item recommends the county also to provide $1 million in additional direct funding, which ensures equal amount of local government investment, again, by the city and the county. This additional funding brings the county and city contribution to $8.5 million collectively. For the county's share, we're recommending, should the board wish to approve this item, to use Emergency Rental Assistance 2 funding, ERA 2 funding, which the federal government recently authorized, the Treasury recently authorized for projects like this one. Commissioners, let me add that we have several items like this one in the pipeline for your consideration that we'll be bringing to you in the coming months. These issues will address affordable housing policies and additional strategic investment opportunities that align with our efforts to increase and preserve the stock of affordable housing in our community. For this evening, we're recommending option 1, which is to authorize the county administrator to allocate $1 million in ERA 2 funding to support the funding request of the Tallahassee Housing Authority for the second phase of the redevelopment of the Orange Avenue Apartments project. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions. Shankton Lammy's here. Brenda Williams is also here. Again, Commissioners, with that, we're happy to answer any questions. I have no speakers on this item, and I'll hand it back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a motion for staff recommendation?
I move option 1.
Motion been made by Commissioner Welch, seconded by Commissioner Cummings. I'll recognize Commissioner Cummings, Minor, and then Welch. Commissioner Cummings.
Now, I thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I just, very briefly, I believe that this is necessary. This particular project is clearly going to satisfy some of the housing needs that we have, and I think it's just a continuation of the strong support that the county has to address those housing needs in the county. So I clearly, wholeheartedly support option 1.
Commissioner Minor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have the available unencumbered funding from ERA 2. It's eligible for this purpose. We've all worked very hard for a long time on increasing affordable housing options for people that live in this community. It's a long-term problem. This is a solid step toward us making some accomplishments and some successes in this area. So wholeheartedly support the motion on the floor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to echo those sentiments. Obviously, if we had to pick 3 problems in our community, affordable housing is one of those 3. And I think we would all agree it is unfortunate that construction costs are what they are. And we've got money available to do this. It's a no-brainer. We have no choice but to do this. It is crucial for our community to redevelop the Orange Avenue apartments, which is going to be awesome and add units. And so I'm proud to second the motion and support the item.
Thank you. Commissioner Cummings, you back in queue? You good? All right, we'll move, Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, I'm very, very proud of the leadership of one Brenda Williams, who the brief time that she's been in our community, she's been a historic game changer. And no doubt that this will jumpstart the area known as the South City area. It's going to improve, enhance, stabilize property values. And we're pleased to support this because there is a lot of talk about affordable housing. But Brenda Williams has been a captain who is about walk. And what we're agreeing to is to help them in their efforts to establish 410 units of affordable housing. Many people will never do 410 units of tangible online opportunities and options for families. They're going to be contemporized. They're going to be modernized. They're going to be made state of the art right now. Ms. Williams, I just want to say to you, you're my person of the millennial so far. And much kudos to you. Fabulous job. And I heard someone tonight indicate that, I forgot who said it, but many of the people, I think the chairman said it, many of the people who we represent and need our help most, we won't hear from them. We won't get a letter from them. They won't call us. We won't get a text message. We won't get an email. But in your hearing of their pleas, their cries for better, we thank you. So our commission, it seems though we've coalesced to consensus to move forward. And for that, I'm very, very, very grateful. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. We're moving now. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Caban. First time hearing from you. Talk to us.
So on the campaign trail, we talk a lot about affordable housing. On the campaign trail, we talk a lot about affordable housing, and I think that this is a double win for our community. Not only is it increasing the amount of affordable housing, but it's money being spent on the south side. So I'm looking forward to supporting this agenda item.
Thank you. So we've come a long way, Ms. Williams, from that trip we took, but I'm most proud of the fact that between the city and the county, we talk about an $8 million investment in a worthwhile project that's going to change not just the way we look at housing on the south side, but affordable housing as a whole. The reason, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Williams, but one of the biggest reasons that housing stock doubled is because all the folks, all the units there that were subsidized in Section 8 housing has to be kept such, correct? And so in order for us to grow in that area, it has to be doubled because those folks will be able to come back. But then there'll also be a piece there that's affordable housing, a piece there that's market rate, so you get a mixed income community as well. When you think about our community and what we like for it to look like, and we talk about economic segregation and things like that in our community, think about what this project is going to do to combat those things. Commissioner Proctor said it well at the groundbreaking. This was a vision of Ms. Williams that she brought with her when she came here to Leon County. And to see her bring it to fruition is the job that we expected you to do when you came. But I've already charged her before she leaves, rise off to the sunset, that she'll at least get the same kind of project started over at Springfield that's just as deserving. This is great. I appreciate the motion in the second. We'll go now to a vote. Motion made by Commissioner Cummings, seconded by Commissioner Welch. All those in favor of the motion on the floor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries without objection. Any other items, Mr. Administrator?
That concludes your items, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. When any citizens to be heard on Non-agenda items.
We have no additional speaker cards.
Miss County Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of items. One, thank you for indulging the proclamation for Dan Rigo. Who can say it any better than Mr. Bullard did? People are brought into your lives for a reason. Dan Rigo has been a faithful public servant, and so I'm really glad that he was recognized this evening, so thank you for that. Welcome, Commissioners Van and Commissioners O'Keefe. Look forward to working with you. I do have a certain amount of business. This relates to the multi-district opioid litigation. Each of you received a memo outlining that a new settlement agreement with Walmart Inc. is on the table. The state of Florida has entered into that agreement. This is one of those scenarios where the county, as a litigating subdivision, can opt in. If the county doesn't, we decide to go it alone. But the proposed settlement in this matter is for the disbursement of $215 million, which will be allocated for specified opioid remediation efforts throughout the state. If Leon County opts in, it will be eligible for a pro rata percentage of the settlement proceeds. And it is recommended that the board approve participation in the settlement. And if that is the board's will, I request authorization to sign the settlement participation form on behalf of the county.
Is there a motion to such? Motion made by Commissioner Welch. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner O'Keefe. All those in favor of the motion on the floor indicate by saying aye. I'm sorry. Who was it? Oh, you didn't want the second? Oh, see, you see what you guys did? His motion didn't get a second. Now he don't want to be a second. Y'all are horrible. All right, seconded by Commissioner Minor. You want to speak, Commissioner Minor? No, sir. All right, all those in favor of the motion on the floor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries without objection. All right, we're all good. Anything else?
Hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Administrator.
No items, Mr. Chairman. Just to echo our county attorney, a big welcome to Commissioners O'Keefe, Commissioner Caban. Congratulations all the way around, Commissioner Minor, our chairman, Commissioner Maddox, and our entering his 8th term, Commissioner Bill Proctor, one time. Everybody, again, congratulations. As you know, the Leon County organization stands ready to fulfill your wildest dreams.
All right, thank you, Mr. Administrator. I'll start with Commissioner O'Keefe. Yes, sir.
I just want to say thank you especially to the administrators and county attorney and staff. I've already taken up hours of their time on this agenda, and it's so nice to come into an organization and they really have it ready for us. That was a relief and I want to give you credit for that. I hate to talk about something like this, but we do every meeting. We're coming off of another hate-based attack on the community, the LGBTQ trans community in Colorado, and we're seeing an increase in hate-fueled attacks on many communities. That is only one of them. And so we haven't seen something specific to that in our community yet, but that does mean. Thank you. Did everyone hear me? Do you want me to start over? All right. So, but I think we have a responsibility to do what we can to prevent that type of thing from happening here. And so I'm not going to make a motion to try to vote to force an item or anything, but I would like to bring it up and have the chair and the administrator consider when a good agenda item would be, perhaps at a retreat where we talk about how the county government is doing on addressing increasing hate speech and attacks on minority groups of all kinds, and what we can do to help prevent and bring the temperature down in our community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner O'Keefe, we do have the retreat coming up in January. I think, Mr. Administrator, would there be a decent retreat subject for us to talk about?
It probably would. It's an opportunity for the board to discuss any issues like that, some of which are more formal. We have formal presentations already. We would certainly be happy to provide some sort of an update that we could on the issue, but absent any real previous policy direction or anything like that from the board, it may not be as substantive, but it could certainly probably facilitate a discussion of the board.
Commissioner O'Keefe, what I would recommend that because we do have a free flow of conversation and we don't have much policy there, is that correct, Mr. Administrator?
You do.
We do.
Well, you do, and obviously it's all ratified later. But again, it's certainly been the practice of this board. If there's an item that you specifically want to address at your retreat, that you have a motion by the board to add it to your retreat agenda.
Yeah, I would almost recommend a retreat agenda, but I want to hear from Commissioner Minor, and I'll come back to you for your pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. About a year and a half ago, the commission passed a resolution condemning hate speech and taking some anti-hate measures, as well as condemning the January 6th insurrection.
Yes, sir.
And part of that was instigated by the Anti-Defamation League.
Yes, sir.
And inside that resolution were some steps that we committed to take to reduce hate speech and discrimination of that type of action in the county. So we can go back to that resolution for an update and take a look at what's happened. I'm sure the county has taken those steps since the resolution has been passed to go in the direction that Commissioner O'Keefe is looking for.
So for our newly elected commissioner, would you recommend more of an update on that? Email sent out with an update, or are you talking about a retreat, or what?
Well, I think it's up to Commissioner O'Keefe on how you'd like to proceed on this, but one thing we could do is go back and take a look at that resolution, maybe get an update from the county administrator on what has been done since that resolution was passed with those policy initiatives therein, and then figure out where we need to go after that.
So Commissioner O'Keefe, I believe that you got a couple options here. We could ask for an update and discussion at the retreat on that resolution, and we have an open discussion there. It could be ratified the next meeting. Or you could ask for just an email, sit down with the county administrator, update on on that resolution and the actions that have been taken. What's your pleasure?
Thanks, Chairman, and thank you, Commissioner Minor. I'm going to choose the second option. So since there has been action, I'm going to educate myself with following up with the administrator. And we have a meeting in December. Should I have another idea for a specific action, I'll bring up. But for now, it's good to know we've taken some action, and I can educate myself on it.
Yes, sir. Mr. Administrator, if you'll sit down with Commissioner O'Keefe, had that conversation, and then we'll see where you are in December.
Thank you.
Anything else? Nope. Commissioner Command, you have the floor.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion for a status report to be presented by staff at our next meeting in regards to an education or a demonstration of our county's private road assistance programs.
Okay. Motion's been made for a status report to be presented to us on our county. Say one more time.
Our county's private road assistance program.
Yeah, county private road assistance program. That motion's been made by Commissioner Caban. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Welch. Now, the status report, Mr. Administrator, you're gonna get that out to us?
We will. It'll either be December meeting or immediately following that.
All right, sounds good. All those in favor of the motion on the floor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries without objection. Commissioner Caban?
All right.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Commissioner Caban, Commissioner O'Keefe, welcome to the commission. You guys have campaigned, fought hard, and now you're here. I will say that now is where the real work starts. You can't campaign the way you legislate. As you sit up here, think deeply about the issues and make the best decision for your districts, but also for the county. I watched you both throughout the campaign process, and what I did see from you both is that you didn't make a lot of promises, which is a good thing. What I did see is that you promised that you would represent your districts to your utmost ability, and that you'll be honest and you'll be open, and you'll be available to your districts. And that's what your districts expect from you. And so I task you as your chairman that you would do that, and that you would be as collegial to this board as your predecessors were as we work through the issues. There'll be times that we go back and forth. There'll be times that we may not agree on things. But one thing we do here at Leon County is that we leave this dais understanding that we're all trying to move in the right direction, the same direction, and that we respect each other and each other's opinion. Thank you so much for putting your name out there, for putting it all on the line. And again, welcome to Leon County Commission. All right, I'll go now to Commissioner Welch.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Chair, and congratulations. You're looking good over there with your bow tie on.
Thank you.
And welcome to our new members. I'm excited you guys are here. I know it's a wild, overwhelming night, And I think you handled yourselves really well, and I'm looking forward to serving with you for a long time to come. Wanted to point out, Commissioner Proctor, we're rolling up on the 200-year bicentennial of the community, and it occurred to me as you were talking earlier, as you end this term, you will have been serving this community for 15% of its existence. You ever think about that? 30 years, 15% of the entire time it's been here, you have been serving this community. It's really impressive stuff. And if I can make it to your 30 years, it'll put me at like 80 years old. So I don't think I'm going to make it. Commissioner Proctor, you must have started very young looking at you, sir. So congratulations. Thank you. Mr. Rigo, I wanted to say congratulations as well on your retirement. I could tell that your proclamation was written by attorneys because it was verbose and well done. And I'm particularly thankful for your work on the Killearn Acres Parks acquisition and the Northeast Park property acquisitions. And I wanted to just suggest to you in your retirement that you swing by those parks, the Northeast Park when it gets built, and you can go by the Pimlico Park and the Man-O-War parks right now. I get comments almost daily at this point about how much people are enjoying those parks in Killearn Acres. Kids are on swing sets and people are walking around and they love it. And it's an incredible addition to the community, and your work was primarily responsible for that. So I want you to just take some grace in knowing that you really had made an impact on the community, and thank you for your service to the county. I also wanted to mention, I was on the canvassing board during this cycle for all of your elections, and got to serve with Judge Akins and the county attorney, and our incredible supervisor of elections. And I just wanted to, I feel like I'm obligated to say to those who don't know that our supervisor of elections is incredible. And he runs an incredible office, and his staff is unbelievable. And I posted this on social media the other day, and I think it's really true. We need a national supervisor of elections, and I nominate Mark Early because it is unbelievable how well that office is run, how well your elections and my elections and our elections are run. And obviously, it gave me an opportunity to meet Judge Aiken. And it's been a wonderful experience for me. So I just wanted to mention that. And lastly, I wanted to thank our Public Works Department, who I'm always thanking. They just completed a repaving of Centerville Road right in front of Roberts Elementary and Montford Middle School, which needed it desperately. They did it over the weekend in about 3 days. And I got commentary from my constituents about how well the lane closures were done, how efficient and beautiful everything looks. And so, shout out to the best public works department, I think, in America, too. I'm just throwing the accolades around today. And also, I think our Public Works Christmas lunch, or no, Thanksgiving lunch is tomorrow at noon, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to try to swing out there and eat some food with our Public Works folks, who are just the best. And so I think that's all I've got for the evening. Thank y'all so much. Have a great Thanksgiving break. I hope you consume lots of carbs. At my house, gravy is a beverage, I'll remind you. So we will be having a good time, and look forward to seeing you guys in a few short weeks when we have a pretty robust agenda, I assume. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. We'll go now to Madam Vice Chair Cummings.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too want to express the sentiment of my fellow commissioners in welcoming Mr. Cavan and Mr. O'Keefe to the commission. So we look forward to some fruitful work that will clearly benefit all the citizens of Leon County. I want to commend our outgoing chair, Commissioner Proctor. He's just Commissioner Proctor. He just did an outstanding job. As our chair, I want to thank him for his leadership and congratulate you, Mr. Chair, for being elected as our chair. And I just appreciate the words of inspiration that you gave as part of your acceptance. And I appreciate the words of inspiration from our clear voice, Commissioner Proctor, on his relinquishing the chair position. You guys have been an inspiration to me. I've been on the commission 2 years now, and I've looked to you all for leadership, and you haven't let me down. And so I truly appreciate that. I want to also thank you all for nominating and electing me as vice chair. And I don't think I'll have a big task because I'll only serve when our chair is unable to, and most of the time he's here. But I appreciate the confidence and the vote of confidence that you all have given me, however, in electing me as vice chair of this august body. I also want to just go back and thank Commissioner Proctor for inviting Dr. Robinson to our last commission meeting. And it prompted me to reach out to her, and I had the opportunity to meet with her, and she showed me around the Bond Health Center. I mean, it's an amazing operation with the doctors and the nurses, and they service so many of our citizens who have no health care, who do not have affordable health care. And so I just want to suggest to the commissioners, if you haven't met and gone to the Bond Community Health Center, you might want to do that. When Dr. Robinson was here, she gave us some very startling statistics, primarily about that affects 32301 and 32304 zip codes. And some statistics when compared to the overall state of Florida statistics are very low, very, very startling. And it has clearly an adverse effect on health care in our citizens in Leon County. And we know if we've got a healthy Leon County, if we've got a healthy Tallahassee as far as our citizens are concerned, then we've got a strong, healthy community. And I just believe that, we've got to reach out and do more. We have got to close the gap on the statistics that adversely affects our marginalized communities, and specifically those area codes. And I also, Mr. Chair, am following up. I had an appointment to meet with Ms. Freeman, Janae Freeman, who is over the Neighborhood Community Health Center. They do a tremendous job as well in servicing our citizens here in the county who don't have health care. And so I will be meeting with her as well to look over her operations. But the two of those facilities together do a tremendous job, but there is a lot more work that needs to be done so that we can close the gap and reduce some of these startling statistics that adversely affects the health, safety, and welfare of our children and of our families as well. So, Mr. County Administrator, I'm pleased to know that hopefully Ms. Freeman and Dr. Robinson will be on the agenda to address us during our retreat in early 2023. So I look forward to that, and hopefully from that we can develop an action plan. I know that the county is very supportive of both institutions, but I think once we hear from them, once we look at the statistics, hopefully we will resolve that perhaps there's more that we need to do from the county level. So thank you. I'd like to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. Hope that everybody is safe if you travel. Hope your families are safe. And this goes out not just to my fellow commissioners, but Mr. County Administrator, to our county attorney who has always done a stellar job. And congratulations as well to the attorney that's retiring, provided his public service to the county. So we certainly appreciate him, Madam County Attorney, as well. So that's what I have.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, thank you.
All right, you got all the direction there, Mr. Administrator? We good? All right, Commissioner Miter, followed by Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a little quiz for everybody this evening before we head out of here. What do these historical events have in common? Michael Johnson wins the 200-meter finals at the Olympics in Atlanta. Space Jam, the original version, was released. Tiger Woods, after winning his third U.S. Amateur Championship, makes his professional PGA Tour debut. Those things all have in common with the same year that Bill Proctor started on the County Commission, 1996.
How about that?
In fact, with this new commission, I did a little bit of math. With this new commission, Commissioner Proctor has served on this body longer than anyone else here on the commission combined. Combined.
That's awesome.
It's a hugely long time. He's clearly doing something right.
Yeah, clear.
And I just want to point that out to everybody. You've been here for a very long time, and I've always known you to be exemplary in your service to your constituents, knowing what they want, and then being tenacious and fighting for them. And I just want to recognize that in you, sir, because you're doing something right, very clearly. I also, as everyone is wanting to do from time to time when you have a spare moment, watching some of the old county commission videos, right? And I was watching some of the ones where you've got, Marianne Lindley and Brian Deloge and Jimbo and Kristen Dozier. And, the dynamics change. And one thing we're going to see in the next several months is how the dynamics work here. And by me looking at those other commissions, I wasn't thinking, well, this is better, this is worse. Those guys added better commission. It was not anything about that. It's about the different dynamics that we all have and the perspectives that we have, which are different, coming into this body. And there's one thing that's a common thread, though, and when I look at those old videos, is that each of us here, and I know this, each of us is here to focus on doing the best we can for the people we serve. Mm-hmm. And so I say that because, just to give it some context, because I'm really looking forward to our new chair, our new vice chair, our two new commissioners, Commissioner Caban, Commissioner O'Keefe. Really excited about this new body, about this new Board of County Commissioners. And the problems that we have before us are large, they're long-term, but as I have been on other makeups of this commission, I'm really excited about what we have in store and how we're going to work together to make things better for the people that live here. That's our job. I also wanted to just thank everyone for bearing with my daughters in the front there. I don't know I don't know if the screams outside the commission chambers were mine or not, but
no, that was mine.
But I just want to thank everybody for everything that you do at the county, all the staff people. Commissioner Welch said it really well earlier today. You all make us look good, and we stand up here at these meetings, but it's the folks that make sure that the trash is picked up, that make sure that our roads are safe, that the libraries are open. All those people are working every single day to make this community as good as it is. And mind you, our Leon County employees really have a huge role in just our general quality of life here in this county. So just wanted to thank everyone on county staff. I'll be at the Public Works Luncheon too, to thank those folks in that department. And I want to thank each and every one of you. A great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your families. That's what's important. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, I have a request for a proclamation recognizing Arbor Day on Saturday, January 21st, 2023, for the city and the county to recognize the planting of trees across our community. That's our request for proclamation.
Proclamation made by, request made by Commissioner Proctor. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Welch. Any objection? Commissioner Minor, any objection? Seeing none, show it is passed. Commissioner Proctor.
Mr. Chairman, we have a request for a proclamation recognizing the 100-year milestone anniversary of the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority.
Motion made by Commissioner Proctor for the 100th anniversary of Sigma Gamma Rho, seconded by Madam Vice Chair Cummings. Madam Vice Chair Cummings. Is there any objection? Show it is passed. Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you. Commissioners, this is a fantastic day. I want to thank our new chairman, our new colleagues. You're going to have a great time here. I think the comments by Commissioner Minor kind of caught me off guard, but let me just say that occasionally people come to a work that they find a niche, discover it, and they fall in love, such as the case of Joe Bullard, who has been serving as the voice of our community for a while, but you have to get an act of Congress to go out there and drag Joe out of that. He loves that right there. He loves his community, and through his the agency of his presence at 96.1, and the community loves him back. Judge Akins has worked in law for 48 years, found something that he liked, and it liked him. And you heard a testimony of Commissioner Cummings. It's just amazing when you fall in love with what you do, and what you do likes you a little bit back. And I guess whatever that is, I found a niche or something that I love. And the people who allow me to do this, they seem like they like me a little bit too. So we keep it going. I'm very, very pleased and proud for the years of that God has blessed me with. And I wanted to ask Mr. Bullard, Mr. Chairman, if I might, it occurs to me that we just really, a Hall of Fame legendary Joe Bullard, we just ought to have a county commission week and let the District 1 commissioner come in and represent the shy ones. And I'll co-host that week, County Commission Week, for our commission. And I think we really should give county commissioners a week to come in and be the co-host, sort of like what Tom Joyner used to do when he went around from city to city and co-host with him. So I want to be, and I'll take everybody who, they don't want to come on, Joe, but I'll come on all 5 days. Judge Akins, I would ask you, I know we serve on the PSCC together, and we've served on the canvassing board together, but given your years of experience, it occurs to me that none of us have ever been invited by the courts, to my recollection, a sense of an orientation, an overview, school us on the processes of the courts, which we fund, but I don't think we've ever attended none, invited to none, to see what it is. I would welcome, in particular, Commissioners Gabon and Commissioners O'Keefe to understand this building. It's what it's about. And all of us need that. And I ponder, if you build a name after you and all, I mean that, that you would be the one to help us to get that orientation. I think it's needed because all the things that intricately we're doing, and I, possibly more so than other commissioners, being engaged on the Public Safety Coordinating Council, working with the court officials, administrators, public defenders, state attorney, judges, staff, the sheriff, the police chief. So I've over the years, I had a little bit more detailed grind about it, but we really could benefit significantly from this. To our new commissioners, let me just say that you are fortunate. You can shine. You have a staff that can help you put your best shine out there. And when you look at your staff, and as Attorney Rigo leaves, he has no idea how many times I've pondered, what in the hell is Rigo thinking? And he just sits there like a real locked jaw. And you look at our staff, it's stoic, it's poker faces, and they sit there like they see no evil, hear no evil, know no evil. And you can't read them. You cannot read this staff if you're thinking about they won't show any signs. But you can't get greater work. You can't get a more excellent presentation, meeting after meeting after meeting, to come before you than the work product generated by the Leon County staff. So I've been here for a few minutes, But a part of the reasons that I'm comfortable doing that is because I've already worked for a United States Senator. So, in a sense, I feel that U.S. Senator Bob Graham allowed me to see what Senate work is as a U.S. Senator. I've been Special Assistant to Governor Lawton Childs. In a sense, my curiosities are satisfied. I know what the work of the governor is. I've done his work. I've done the U.S. Senator's work. So finding county work, or more localized work, more intimate work is appealing to me. And I've been from the U.S. Senate to the governor's office and now here. So hopefully you'll find that this work is something you can love, and it will love you back. And then finally, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, there was one point about, I wanted to make sure that in the question of whether or not a person is living, but that Commissioner Bruce Host was here earlier tonight, and we do, Commissioner Welch, have a library named after him, and he's living but not serving. So he was my Exhibit A on that, being alive and having a building name. I want finally to say that Judge Akins, out of all of what was given to us, the point that I find significant is Judge Akins is a Sunday school teacher and has been a committed member of the Bethel AME Church forever. And Bryce and Tara and Sister LeGrand and all y'all children and grandchildren, he brought them to church every Sunday. And because I have been an associate minister in the pulpit of Bethel AME since 1985, I have witnessed and I see who comes and who don't. And I have seen this judge in his Christian walk. And I'm telling all of y'all, when he go through and standing up at the pearly gates, Joe, I don't want to be the next person going behind Akins at the pearly gate. He has a lot to present good, and I don't want to be the next person trying to get through once Judge Akins goes through. But we're grateful tonight that two icons, Judge Akins, icon Joe Bullard, are in this building, and this was a great meeting. And we look forward to our next meeting, but not past Thanksgiving, which I wish each of you, your families, to our staff, the work you do, the excellence with which you present that work, the shine that you put on Leon County is appreciated by me, by our commission, and I thank you. And if you don't believe that our work is all of that, that man sitting right there is so exemplary of what occurs. He's the sitting and current reigning county administrator, city manager in the entire world, Vince Long. That's the excellence that occurs around here, and I'm pleased and proud to be a part of it. To God be the glory. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. It's good to see you. Good for us to get here. Like I said, the campaign season is what it is, but we're right here. I look forward to serving with you all and look forward to a productive year. Thank you so much. We're adjourned.